Hey, what is up everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Polkadot, which is currently sitting at just under $4. Now we're going to be jumping into exactly where I think it could be going over the next few days, as well as a few other coins. But before we do so, make sure you guys go check out the Discord down below. You can see on the screen right now just how many trades our members have been winning from simply joining up and starting to copy and paste the trades that we're sending out to them every single day. We have had over an 85% win rate, which is absolutely insane for the amount of profits we're getting. We're getting over 500% profit from a lot of trades. So yeah, make sure you join up. First link in the description, super easy to do so. Now back to the video. So over the past few days, we obviously saw Bitcoin and the entire crypto market rally significantly. Altcoins, although they haven't rallied that much from their previous highs, they did rally from their lows. Like Polkadot was at $3.20, it went to $4.30. Bitcoin, yes, this obviously saw a much higher increase than a lot of coins. Bitcoin dominance has been absurd this run. Really, it's been insane. Nothing like what we've seen in the past. Usually dominance starts to drop off the more we get into a run. However, this time, it's really just staying as strong as it usually is. So that's not great, but I do think we will see that drop off relatively soon. Now, yeah, the reason we're taking a look at Bitcoin is, again, dominance is up, so Bitcoin is practically controlling how alts are going to be moving. If we see Bitcoin drop off ever so slightly, alts are going to see a much larger drop off, and if we see Bitcoin go up, then alts will go up, but just not as much as we've seen obviously with this pump. ETH hasn't really seen that same sort of pump, so yeah, that's really evident. Now I think this pump is sort of a pricing in the FOMC meeting that we're going to have, which are going to be actually on Wednesday. So we have them this Wednesday, May the 7th. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think this is what this pump is. It's pricing in the rate cut that we're going to get on May 7th. That's usually how these things work as well. The market prices news in before it actually comes out. So if we don't get a rate cut, expect a relatively large drop. Even if we do get the rate cut, I think we're going to drop off slightly, maybe to 90,000. Simple case of buy the rumor, sell the news. Usually happens every single run. How that will look like for Polkadot, probably a drop off back down to 380, maybe 370, 360, somewhere around here. Again, I don't think that's that severe. It's gonna be like a 10% dip maybe at max, but again, it's nothing we haven't been in from April. Really, we're sitting at like $3.30, so yeah, it's nothing we haven't experienced in the past. We're just going to continue to hold. Again, as I was saying in previous videos, anything under $4 is a decent buy in my opinion for Polkadot. From the low entry that we have here, and we're targeting $11, it's gonna be like a 3x. So yeah, really easy stuff. Every time we've gone under $4 in the past, we've 100% of the time hit $11 again. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite attainable. Again, if you want to go for less risky profits, shorter term profits, you can simply target $8, or even if you just want a 2x, $7.11, which we usually consolidate around there, even in not the best market conditions. So I think that's a relatively safe bet. We have also an FOMC meeting in June and July, so we're gonna have back to back FOMC meetings, May, June, July, and if we get back to back rate cuts, that will be insane. I think you'll see the market soar a lot, and it will probably be the major catalyst that will cause the second leg, because in a bull run we usually get two legs that look something like this, where we get an initial leg up, we usually top out here, yeah, we get some ups and downs and whatnot, and then we see an initial major sell-off, like this went from 64 to 30,000, so like a 50% drop, and then we see the second leg, which is usually the second catalyst. It's quite similar right now. We got some highs, some tops, and then we saw a dip down from 110 down to 75, which I think, what is that, 30%? We can actually check. Yeah, like a 30% dip. But the one thing you have to remember is, back in 21 we didn't have ETFs and we didn't have institutional investors, and the way that really affects the market is it sort of minimizes the gain and loss that we're going to get. Not as much gain, because any asset in the world can continue going up non-stop. Like there's no ceiling to the price, obviously within capital limits, but for an asset to drop, it can drop to zero. There's a floor, no ceiling, but there is a floor. So when we have institutional investors in ETF, essentially what that does is it just raises the floor. The ceiling stays uncapped, but it just raises the floor because more institutions invest, more money is flowing in, and it sort of just caps out the losses. So I think that's what we're seeing right now, is sort of the bottom in at 74, 75. I was really expecting us to drop to 70, maybe in 68, 69, and then see a leg up, but it looks like We didn't. We dropped to 75, and now we're getting that second leg. Again, this is just a rumor catalyst. Once we actually get full catalyst, hopefully a May, June, July rate cut, very highly unlikely. Maybe we'll get 2 out of the 3, and that will still be bullish. Other catalysts could include a great deal between the US and China with their tariffs. Again, that will only come after we get rate cuts, in my opinion, because the US again needs to borrow a lot of money. I think it's like $4 trillion because that's their deficit. So yeah, the lower the rate, the more they save, and the more they can negotiate on the tariff deal, as well as peace deals with Russia, Ukraine, which looks like not going to be happening anytime soon. So we're more reliant now on the tariff deal and the rate cuts. So yeah, that's sort of the outlook. And as for tops, BTC maybe 114 to 138, somewhere around this area, I think will be a good for a second leg top. We can't really go too high because again, 21 run, which is the most comparable, we hit 69. First leg up was 64.7. So of that comparison, this leg up, the top might be 114, absolute top 138, but that's really difficult. I think 114, maybe 120, this will be somewhere around the top. And again, altcoins like Dot, we're not really trying to go for an all-time high. Dot's hit $55 in the past, and that's not what we're going for at all. We're simply going for value here, and just looking at the chart, this is a clear value play in my opinion. $11, very easy sell. And if the market is in a great condition, we're getting Polkadot news like ETFs, partnerships, everything like that, it could go well over $11, maybe even to $20. We're not really going for that. We're gonna start selling off at $9, $10, $11, and we're gonna leave a small running position, maybe 10% of the original position, to if it does go to 20, 30, whatever it may be. So yeah, that's what we're sort of aiming for. Other coins I'm going to be keeping an eye on this week include Sui, 5% today, really great coin, bouncing off of the support very nicely. Will be interesting to see how this performs. XRP, the thing with XRP is when there's no news for it, it usually just consolidates. Like you can see here, we haven't really moved from December to now. Like yeah, we've gone up and down quite severely, but price has nearly stayed the same. But when we do get major news, you can see the spikes that occur. It's very evident. Again, this was in a bad market condition, so any major news that we got instantly sell off. In a much better market condition, whenever we get news, it's sort of this snowball effect where it's similar to this initial spike from news, buy, FOMO kicks in, more people buy, maybe more news comes out, buy, and it's just sort of this snowball effect. That's why XRP is quite unique and very good in my opinion. Again, can be targeting $4, maybe $6 this run. Now that we have a pro crypto president, pro crypto SEC, I think things are looking up for XRP. Fetch, again, I think AI will still be the narrative this run, so we can still target coins like Fetch, Render in the AI niche. Obviously Fetch creating AI bots, Render with GPUs, both in their sort of subcategories of AI. So yeah, I think this can still perform well. I still have high hopes, $3 plus hopefully for Fetch. Yeah, it has dropped off significantly, but usually coins that are in this sort of narrative do tend to be very volatile. So once more news comes out, I'm sure that Fetch will see a very good rally. HBAR again, good coin, I quite like, expecting big things. Solana, I think we've already topped out at like 300. Sure, we might hit 300 again, but nothing of this magnitude where it's like a few day pump. It'll probably be a slow grinder, maybe up to 250, 300, somewhere around here. ETH, very undervalued, very underperformer. Yeah, I mean, I hope it goes back to 4K. It should go back to 4K, but with Vitalik these days, you never really know. I don't think there's been any major updates to Ethereum for a very long time, and yeah, I mean, it's only the ETF really and some retail investors that are sort of trending it up, so it'll be interesting to see how that performs. Now, if you did enjoy today's video, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and again, check out the Discord down below. It'll be the first link in the description. Super easy to join up, and we have been crushing it, over an 85% win rate. Make sure you join up, and if you need a place to actually buy, sell, or trade cryptocurrency for the lowest fees with the best sign-up bonuses, then check out all the exchanges we're working with down below and use my links to sign up. You will get some lower fees than the regular person, and you'll also get some nice sign-up bonuses. So yeah, make sure you do that. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.